Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the it's not it, the first tutorial for Fox Toolkit. I haven't done this before. In fact, I haven't even set it up. We're going to do that now. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is include this fx.h file, but to do that I need to add it to the compiler include directories. So I'm going to do that here. I'm using the Genie editor, which happens to be my favorite. Oh, hold on. Just save the main.cpp file. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to add -i, and then I'm going to put in the name of the directory that I unpacked the Fox Toolkit into, which is this one here. And I think I need to go to this directory here, include. Okay, so now I'll add that in. And I think if I do it in quotes like that, it'll work. Let me make this a bit bigger. Now, we probably also need a linker library for this, but one thing at a time. Let's see if this works. Oh, let me make that a bit bigger. So I'll start out by making a basic file here that doesn't do much. But I'm also going to include fx.h just to make sure that that is working. I'm going to have to view the messages window. Okay, so the compilation finished successfully, which means that it found this header file. I'm not using any of the stuff from the toolkit yet, so I can run the linker, but it doesn't have a problem because I don't use anything from the library. So let's start by just making an empty class here, which derives from this fx main window. I've mentioned before that I don't like inheritance on principle, but maybe this toolkit will change my mind. I don't know what, so they say you have to do this fx declare macro. I don't really know what that does actually, but let's add it. Maybe it'll become clearer later. And you don't put a semicolon on it. All right, let's just see if this compiles. Oh yeah, I'm used to C code. Okay, and does it link? It does link, so I guess I got away with it. Maybe it's header only. That doesn't make sense. You know, I think it's because I never actually instantiate this class. Well, let's keep going then. So apparently this fx declare macro declares a number of member functions. All right, well, I don't really know what that's about, but this stuff is for storing the contents of the window example. Oh, I guess I never explained. This is what we're doing. This is the tutorial that we're going through. Okay, let's just copy this in. I'm just interested to see if it is actually compiling right now. And then we can try and figure out what this stuff means. And let me fix the indentation. Okay. Okay. I may need to be a little bit more aggressive about screen space since I'm doing this at a larger text size. And then we need to, apparently to satisfy the serialization macro, we need to have a default constructor. Not sure why it's protected, but whatever, I guess it is. So by the way, when I go quiet like this, it's because I'm reading what's on the screen. I'll try to be good about putting my cursor next to what I'm reading, which I think I do by habit anyway. Okay, so unlike the Windows API, which by the way is not very nice to use, although there's nothing wrong with it otherwise, this has a nicer method of having event handlers where you just declare a function that Fox in behind the scenes I assume will automatically call when an event happens. So let's put these in and fix the indentation again. Actually, I've decided I want to do it like this. Okay. A message consists of a type and an ID. The type defines what happened. The ID is the source. Even though we know the object that sent us the message, that's the first parameter to these callbacks. In many cases, we can be sent the same message from different sources, and the ID is much more convenient. So I'm not sure I understand, actually. Okay, the message ID is inside this FX selector argument to the callback. So the ID is, I guess, some integer saying what kind of message it is. And I guess they're saying it's more convenient to use that. And we are going to make some of our own IDs. Now, I'm not really sure who the intended audience of these videos is. I'm not even sure why I'm uploading them, but in any case, just to explain what's going on here, this ID canvas equals fx main window ID last. This is setting the first value in our enum, this ID canvas value, to be equal to this ID last value in an enum in the fx main window class. Basically what this means is that our number is going to keep counting where these numbers left off, so that way we won't accidentally reuse a number. Okay. You see there, they just explained that here, so let's move on. By defining a constructor and one member function called create. None of these are defined, they're just declared, but let's add them in. Personally, I prefer to have constructors at the start of the public part. And let me fix the indentation. And I like to have variables and type defs before functions. Actually, this fx declare might have to be public. I don't know. I guess it's private. I'll just leave it there. Okay, so we have our 3 new custom message IDs for this scribble window where we've declared a constructor. I assume this is the constructor that we actually use, and the only reason to have this is to make something else work. Okay, and then I guess we're going to have to define these somewhere. I don't know what this is for, and I don't know what this is for yet. Well, okay, that's the destructor, but I don't know exactly what it has to do. The constructor will build the GUI, whatever that means. The create function is a virtual function that is called by the system. Most Fox widgets have this function. Fox widgets have a 2-stage creation process. First, the client-side widgets are constructed using ordinary C++ constructors. Then once the whole widget tree is complete, a single call to the application's create function will create all the windows for those widgets. This two-step process is needed as the second step may only be executed once the connection to the display has been established. So I guess what that means is we need to set up all the data structures and stuff beforehand, but the create function is actually what draws it to the screen or something like that. And I guess by separating them, because in C++ you can't, the object gets constructed as soon as you make it, right? So there's no way for you to say, don't construct it yet, wait for something else before I construct it. So I guess this is what they do. They put the actual drawing commands or whatever in this function. Okay, so now we're going to implement this new class. Yeah. The first thing to do is define the message map. The message map is a simple table that associates a message type and a message ID to a class's member function. Yeah, okay, so I was looking at this earlier because I was curious. So this derives from FXMain window, right? Well, hold on. I went into the, I wanted to see what was in this FXMain window class, so I went into this class reference. And I wanted to see, okay, so which signal handling or event handling functions are already there. And I was surprised to find that there aren't any. There's just this on default. So I guess this is what happens when you don't define a handler for a message. It'll just call this function. So right now we're using the one defined in FXMain Windows, and we're not overriding the default one. But in order to get it to dispatch messages to the right function of ours, so these ones here that we're going to declare later, this is what we have to do. We have to do this crazy macro stuff. So let's first, I can't really read it because I zoomed in on this web page, so I can't really see what it says. So let's copy it into the editor. I would really like to know what these macros are doing. Okay. First, I don't think this is going to compile because this hasn't been declared until down here. Well, let's see if it compiles. Okay. By the way, if you're wondering why I didn't just use the same name as they did, the reason is because that way it makes it easier for me to understand what is stuff that we control and what is stuff that the library controls. Oh yeah. I was wondering why there was no syntax highlighting for it. Okay. Now let's see if it compiles. Yeah, unsurprisingly, it doesn't compile because these haven't been declared yet. So let's try putting this stuff at the bottom. Oh yeah. Actually, maybe it would have worked. I forgot to do this again. Maybe hearing the footsteps over the microphone. I live in a house which is shared among several people. I'm actually worried that my voice is bothering them, but whatever. Okay. Oh, we're almost there. In-class initialization of static data member of incomplete type. Maybe this is something that we have to just keep reading, and maybe then it'll make sense. First, there are several messages with the same ID but a different type. Message types indicate what happened. The message ID identifies the source. Okay, I guess I really didn't understand this. Okay, so I'm guessing that we got a pointer to the sender because that way you can do whatever you need to do with the sender, but most of the time the message ID is enough to you know, do your job. I think you only use this pointer in rare cases. That's probably what happens. Okay, so let's keep going. I would really like to see what this macro expands to. Luckily, I think I know how to do that. I think I can do CPP, which is the C preprocessor. This isn't, oh, hold on. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, CPP is not C++, of course, it's C preprocessor. Yeah, I don't know what this, you know, extra stuff that's in there is for, but, you know, maybe it's enough. Oh my god, this is huge. You know what, I think this is because the IO stream is in there. Let's just try and warp to the right place here. All I'm doing is oh yeah, this removes the comments, doesn't it? Oh, here we go. I guess I should just have to go to the bottom. So this is the MyWin FX map entry. Oh, wait, what's this? Boy, this is ugly. Oh, and I didn't zoom in either. So we start by having this struct FX map entry, which looks awful because it's all in one line. I think this was made by a macro. Let's try and clean it up a little bit. Almost there. Whoops. Something is wrong here. Okay. So we have this struct fx map entry. what that's about. Then it declares a bunch of stuff. I really have no idea what this is all for. Oh, here we go, handle. Here, look at this. I think that this handle function, which appears to be overriding something from the base class, it has the same arguments that a message handler function has. So this must be the function that actually, I guess, does the dispatching. I don't know. I don't know what this meta class stuff is about. And then we have some streaming operators. I'm not really sure what that's for either. Anyway, this is the point that I wanted to see. We have, so what was this in here? It was this FX map. Okay, so this FX declare must be what made that long line here that I just expanded out. Which, by the way, came with some public and private labels, so that's worth knowing. And FX map entry. Let's take a quick look at what that is. Okay, I guess we're not going to find out what that is today. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, duh, it's this. It's a plain old data struct which has an FX selector, which is a type and an ID, whatever that is, another FX selector, and a pointer to a function within this mywin class. Okay, so this is a, oh, okay, so this is a pointer to a function like this within this class and having this parameter list and return type signature. And this is making an array. Doing some really funny bit manipulation stuff. And getting the address of the onPaint function. There is a reason why I'm looking at it, by the way, and it's because this gave me an error, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, yeah, okay. In class initialization of static data member, for whatever reason in C++, and I really don't know why this is the case, you cannot initialize static members in the class definition in here. I have no idea why, but you can't. So apparently this has to be outside the class, but that doesn't make sense because I'm pretty sure... Oh no, I guess it could go outside the class. I thought it came with these public-private labels, but maybe it doesn't. So let's just try putting this out here. But this FX declare absolutely 100% has to be inside the class. All right, let's see what that does. Okay, no errors, and will it link? Yeah, there we go. This is what I was expecting. Oh, actually, no, it seems fine. I just haven't, it's complaining that I haven't actually defined these functions. I still think it's going to fail to link when I actually try to use this to, make a window on the screen, because I probably need to include some linker library for the Fox toolkit. But anyway, one thing at a time. So let's keep going with the tutorial. Several messages with the same ID but a different type. So the type is the type, and the ID is like, I guess, a shortcut for saying who's responsible for the message. Next, we need to implement the boilerplate stuff that the previous fxDeclare macro has declared. So again, let's copy this and paste it into the editor so that we can see it better. So this is all private. I don't know if it should be private or not. We can always use our trick of expanding it out to see what it does. Macro for the class hierarchy implementation. I'm going to guess this doesn't go inside the class, actually. Actually, come to think of it, anything that does have to go inside the class, they always put the this thing, I don't know what you call that, the visibility keyword or whatever. So I'm guessing that anything that doesn't have it should be outside the class. So let's do that. So FXIMPLEMENT. I'm guessing this array number, well, you know what, let's stop guessing. All right, let's just expand it like we did. Okay, so that macro expanded to this line right here. Let's try and make it look a little bit nicer. What the heck is this meta class junk? It's from in here. Meta class, what the hell is that? Let's try and clean this up a little bit. Yeah, as I suspected, I thought that this array number was basically expanding out to something like this to get the number of elements in the array. Okay. So, this is initializing the meta class member of my win which was defined as a static variable right here. I really want to know what that is. I can't stand not knowing. Let's see what metaclasses mean in general. This isn't helpful. I'm looking this up because I'm wondering like what the hell they're trying to do with this. The fact that they bothered to call it metaclass means that they're probably basing it on some existing technique. Okay, so reading this, it sounds like a template class. That's what a metaclass is. Anyway, let's keep going. This isn't helpful. Let's see what the tutorial has to say about it. The first argument of the macro should have the name of the class. The second should be the name of the class from which the class has been derived. Interesting. The last two arguments are a pointer to the message map and the number of messages in that map. Oh yeah, I could have, Fox has a convenience macro, yeah. If the class you're defining implements no additional messages, the last two arguments of FXIMPLEMENT should simply be null and 0. The remainder of Scribble Windows implementation is pretty much ordinary C++ code. I'll look at that in a second. I just want to quickly glance through and see if it explains what the heck this stuff is. They're not going to explain it, I don't think. Oh, this is not helpful either. This class doesn't derive from anything. Nothing derives from it. I don't know what it's for. So let's recap on the funny macro business. We had to do this fx declare, which declared this map entry struct, made this meta class member variable, made a function prototype for this manufacture function. We've already done this, but let's do it again. Define some stream operators, this get meta class function. I notice it's virtual. Let's take a look at what that does in the FX main window class. Maybe we can figure it out that way. Oh, wait. Get meta class. Not there. Is there anything to do with meta classes? Is member of. This macro was to, I guess, associate our functions with the right events. So far, that kind of makes sense. This FXIMPLEMENT is, I don't know what that's about. I guess we'll give up on this stuff for now, and maybe I'll be able to figure it out later. So let's go back to where we were. So this is the constructor for the class. Is that inside? No, it's declared outside. So the first thing it does is it calls the constructor for the base class with some stuff that I really don't know about. And then it initializes all of these FX horizontal frames, FX vertical frames. Ugh, maybe this isn't as simple as I expected. The reason I didn't like Qt was because it had way too many different kinds of objects. And it's just a mess. This is starting to look the same, isn't it? This is strange. It's calling new on these things, but it's discarding the pointer. That seems weird. That's super weird. This canvas is of interest to us for the sheet music app. We're probably going to have to draw music notes manually. I've never seen this before, that you call new on some class and you discard the pointer. I mean, doesn't this cause memory leaks? All right, let's see what the tutorial has to say about it. In almost all cases, it takes just one line of C++ code to create a Fox widget. Typically, that is a constructor invocation, as most Fox widgets supply a convenient default parameters of the constructor. You may not have to specify most of them. The first line in the body of the constructor creates a top-level window. This here. Top-level windows in Fox have no parent, so pass in a pointer to the application object, this pointer in this case. So that must be what this FX app is. Okay. The remaining parameters are the window title. Oh, wait, they must be talking about... No, wait, they are talking about this. The remaining parameters are the window title. That doesn't look like a title to me. This is what looks like a title. Window decorations, as well as the initial size and position. Initial size and position may be ignored by a particular window manager. They are just hints. Oh yeah, so this is the FX for... Okay, I think they just forgot that this wasn't this pointer, it was the argument. Okay, so now we go here. The FX horizontal frame widget is a layout manager that places its children horizontally. Oh, this is reminding me of swing in Java, which I really didn't like at all. Maybe this isn't as good as I expected, but let's keep going. Places its children horizontally. The FX main window widget itself is also a layout manager, and the options passed to the FX horizontal frame widget's constructor determine how it is placed in the FX main window. Bunch of magic numbers. Okay. Let's take a quick look at what this is supposed to look like. So I'm guessing that this horizontal frame is I'm sure people watching this understand what I mean, but so I'm guessing that all of this is contents. Canvas frame is, oh, you know what, it's labeled, isn't it? I guess I didn't have to go to all that trouble. Well, whatever. Button frame. There must be a button frame around here. Button frame. And then the canvas itself. So it's all like hierarchical. So far it seems okay. Let's keep going. The FX name window itself is also a layout manager, and the options passed to the determine how it is placed in the FX main window. Next, two FX vertical frame widgets are created. Well, actually, I guess it was helpful that I have this at least. Let me just get rid of that. So we have the horizontal frame with everything, and then we have vertical frames, which has a text, a divider, and the canvas, and here text, divider, button, button. So I'm sure we're going to see that in the code here in a second. So the vertical frame, then we have text, separator, canvas, unsurprisingly. Okay. I really would like to know what the heck is going on with this, like, dropping the pointers. For drawing a canvas, in the canvas frame, we then place a label, a grouped separator, in the canvas for drawing into the canvas's target object is a scribble window, and its message is set to ID canvas. Okay, so I guess, okay. So canvas frame, so the canvas is inside the canvas frame. Okay. I'm guessing that maybe the pointer is stored inside the canvas frame, and then when the canvas frame destructor is called, it takes care of calling canvas's destructor. I don't know. So canvas frame, and then the canvas frame's parent is contents. That makes sense. The contents parent is this. That makes sense. But what I don't understand is this A FX app pointer. Well, maybe it'll make sense when I actually instantiate this my win somewhere. Okay. This causes Canvas to send all its messages to the Scribble app object with the ID set to ID Canvas. So yeah, okay, so I guess the FX Canvas, the second parameter is where it sends messages, and this is the ID. I guess that makes sense. And the right button frame, we place a label. Oh, cool. Alt-C automatically. That's neat. ID clear, ID quit. Note that we didn't have to define ID quit as messages in every FX app object. Alright. The remaining finally, the Scribble Windows constructor initializes its member variables. So this is the stuff specific to the app itself. Has nothing to do with, you know, FX funny windowing business. So we make the label, separator, button, and button. We start out the color as red. And I forget what this flag and dirty are for, but whatever. I don't know, this bothers me. Yeah, I don't know. Well, okay, let's look up FX button, for example. It inherits from eventually all the way back to FX object. Let's see if it overloads new. It doesn't. What on earth? I don't know. Let's do the create function. So this calls the create function of the FX main window. And then the main window is shown on the screen by calling its show member function. And then we have to write the message handlers. And there are quite a few. So, oh, MD, mouse down flag. Yeah. I guess, okay, maybe let's just paste it in. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to fix the indentation. So on mouse down, I don't know what this grab function does, so let's see. Simply sets a flag to remember that the mouse is now down. The on mouse move handler draws a line from the last to the current mouse positions, then sets a dirty flag to 1 to remember that the canvas has been drawn onto. The on mouse up handler finishes the line and then resets the mouse down flag. Finally, the on paint handler repaints the canvas to the background color. Nothing remarkable here at all. Oh yeah. So what do you suppose does this grab function mean? I hate stuff like this. I thought I liked Fox Toolkit, but I'm liking it less and less as time goes on. Grab the mouse to this window. Future mouse events will be reported to this window, even while the cursor goes outside of this window. Alright, so they could have said that. But anyway, now we know. I'm guessing that we ungrab it on mouse up. Yeah. Okay, fine. Get DC for the canvas. What the heck does that mean? Window device context. Oh, okay. Maybe a better name would be a drawing context. Allows drawing into an FX drawable, such as an on-screen window or an off-screen image. Oh, that's neat. We can make images with this. And we initialize it with an FX drawable. look at that. It really does inherit from FX drawable. Okay, so these are functions available to a drawing context. Fine. This causes us to draw the last line. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. On paint, repaints the canvas to the background color. So I'm guessing that this paint gets called, we can check it actually, it gets called when you click the clear button. Yeah, the clear button. So oh wait, because when you're using the Windows API, paint actually means the window has suddenly become visible and it has to repaint the part that was obscured, that is, redraw itself. So I'm guessing that if this canvas becomes obscured by another window and then shown again, it'll just be blank, because this onPaint function just fills it with the background color. This seems ridiculous to construct the device context every single time. I don't know what this EV is about. This sets the clip rectangle to the exposed rectangle. Oh, interesting. So that lets you only be able to draw in the part that was obscured. As in, so you don't redraw the whole window, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of cool. Alright, the next few message handlers are more interesting. So, let's put those in. Handle the clear message. The on-command clear message handler clears the canvas, unsurprisingly, then resets the dirty flag. The on-update clear message handler updates the clear button. Excuse me. Each widget in Fox receives a message during idle processing asking it to be updated. For example, buttons can be sensitized or desensitized when the state of the application changes. In this case, we desensitize the sender, the clear button, when the canvas has already been cleared, and sensitize it when it has been painted. Oh, so it like grays out the button if you've already cleared it. The N commands and M widgets to update for each command. One might have to write N times M update routines with the GUI update process. One needs only write N plus M routines. This doesn't make sense. What does that mean? Receives a message during idle processing asking it to be updated. Each widget. So they need to define widget, they need to define idle processing, and they need to define it, as in like, so who is asking? This doesn't make sense. All right, let's look at the code. On clear, it's not surprising. We empty the canvas and set dirty to 0. Update the clear button. So let's see what we associate that with. With the update message type, and ID clear. Well, who sends that message? I don't think. Oh, interesting. This makes sense. Remember that handle function we saw in that expanded macro, this one right here? Well, this is proof that this is how you send events to objects. You simply call their handle function with the FX object pointer, the selector, and an extra pointer. So okay, when someone clicks the button, right? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish putting in the rest of the code. I'm going to do what it takes to get it to compile and open it, and then what we can do is we can add some printing statements in these functions, and maybe we'll be able to figure out what's going on. Okay. Make application. I don't know what FXApp means. Oh, fine. Maybe it needs to know the name of the executable. What the heck is this calling new and not saving the pointer? There's no way that's correct. Okay, well, so this was what we were talking about earlier. The constructor to my win. Where did I put that? Right here. When you construct something that is visible on the screen, you give it a pointer to its parent. So this, I guess, this FXIMP is the parent to the whole thing, the whole window. Oh yeah, okay. So this create normally might be done by the constructor, but in Fox Toolkit, it's done separate from it. I wonder what happens if you call it more than once. And then, sure. I don't know what this my app run does. Maybe it turns on message handling or something. Okay, let's see if it compiles. Yeah, okay, so just as I suspected, no references to this FX thingamajig stuff. So that means that we need to figure out what the name of the linker library is. Maybe if I add this folder to the search path for the linker. Wait, maybe it's written in here. Oh, here's that stuff about idle processing. I know I'm looking for how to compile it, but I just noticed this, so I'll read it now. During idle processing. So I guess, okay, so I guess that when all the messages are handled and there are no messages in the message queue, Fox does an infinite loop where it just updates all the widgets. All right, fine. It doesn't say how to compile it. Of course it doesn't. Okay, well, let's try doing that thing that I said, which is adding this folder to the linker search path. So I'm using a -L for that. This probably isn't going to work. I don't have a good feeling about it, but let's see. So it compiles and yeah. Okay, so there's this huge 4 megabyte DLL. That seems like it might be what we're looking for. Let's see if there's a .so anywhere. All right, I feel good about that. So let's try that. It seems we're getting closer. Undefined reference to the destructor. I never declared or defined the destructor. Maybe I forgot to copy it. That's weird. That's weird. Undefined reference to the destructor. That's weird. Why is it calling the destructor? I mean, apparently this never calls destructors, which is my problem that I have with it, but wait, where is this destructor being called? So this doesn't call the destructor. Who the hell's calling the destructor? Oh, wait a minute. Well, let's try this. I didn't think so. Strange. Undefined reference to destructor. But I copy pasted that. It should be okay. And it was public. Okay, so there's a reason this destructor is virtual. I remember reading somewhere. Okay, then let's try giving it an empty body. Or we'll make it default. Okay, well, it compiled. Oh, So, sorry, I guess I got quiet there. I didn't realize. I tried running it, and it said, can't find the DLL. Oh no. So I just needed to make sure that the Windows OS can find the DLL. So I looked up how to do that. It turns out that you just add it to your path environment variable. Okay, but the thing is, you have to, because I'm using Genie to start the executable, I have to reopen Genie now that I've changed the environment variables. Okay. Oh, why is this so painful? Alright, let's try something dumber. Just for the sake of moving on with my life. I'm just going to put it right in the same directory as the executable. Hey, look at that. Huh, no way. I don't believe it. Huh. That's incredible. It's really smooth. That's super smooth. Huh. No way. So now you have more work to do. We were wondering when these functions get called. First thing I want to do is, instead of doing this, let's have this print out what the hell's going on with my keyboard? Oh, there it is. And also, let's put this, if we're right about this update, we should get an update. Hold on. We should see this, we should see hundreds of these fly by per second. Oh. Interesting. it's happening every time I like move the mouse. And then it does call the destructor. Okay, so it doesn't constantly do idle processing. It only does idle processing every time something happens. So that's a little bit better. So let's get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. So it does actually call this destructor. What? Well, we have all the source on this computer, so I'm guessing that it is the destructor of FXApp, which calls the destructor of... No, this doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe we should look at this FX main window constructor. So the FX main window constructor gets a pointer to the FX app, and I wonder if it uses that pointer to save this pointer. Wait a minute though, because all of these have to get their destructors called as well. And these two. So who the heck calls these destructors? Alright, maybe we should take a look at the constructor for FX main window. So it just calls the constructor for FX top window. I mean, I have a feeling that we're going to be doing this for a while, but I think it's worth knowing. Okay, so it calls FX shell with this pointer to the app. Man, what the heck? Okay, this calls FX composite. I don't even know if this is worth the trouble anymore, but we've already started. Which calls FX window. I'm going to guess this is going to call FX drawable. Oh, yes, it does. Who saw that coming? You think it's going to call FXID? Yeah, FXID. Hey, we're narrowing in though. Hey, that's it. Oh, hey, look at that. Which Fox objects do we need to delete to avoid memory leaks? Most Fox widgets are automatically deleted by their parent widget. However, there are some resources which are shareable. These resources must be deleted explicitly by the program in order to avoid memory leaks or other problems. Cursors, fonts, images, icons, bitmaps, visuals are shareable resources which must be cleaned up explicitly. Because several widgets may refer to the same icon or font, the resources are not automatically deleted by the widget as they may be used in another widget. A number of resources, such as the default cursors, default font, default visuals, are automatically created by the application object, and the application object also assumes responsibility to destroy these when the application itself is being destroyed. Menu panes usually refer to the widget that owns them, and because dangling references to a deleted owner object are not allowed, the owner widget must make sure the menu panes are deleted when the owner widget itself is. Failing to do this will leave the menu pane in existence while their owner is already deleted, and this will cause problems. Okay, so things are deleted by their parent. And in this case, let me close all this crap. The parent of this window is this FX app. So let's go back into FX app, which now I'm realizing I shouldn't have closed, and let's look at the destructor. Register, you shouldn't use that in your code. The compiler's smarter than you are. Okay, so these are the default cursors that they were talking about. Default fonts, default visuals, and it looks like some OS specific stuff. Huh, fancy. So this, I think, is the guy that takes care of deleting all this stuff. Let's see what this root is. Oh, Root equals new root window. Oh, wait a minute. I remember. No. Huh. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know how it happens, but somehow this FX app keeps track of its children, and its children keep track of their children, and so on. But how? Oh, something I meant to test. I just saw the word repaint on that other screen. Let's see what happens when you have to repaint part of the screen. I'm guessing that it'll just be blank. No, I guess not. Let's go take a look at that repaint function. Well, I don't know how that works. Oh yeah, hey, there we go. There, I got it to repaint. Yeah. When you repaint it, the parts that were obscured just become white. Let's see maybe if I can do this. Yeah, look at that. Cool. So I guess it doesn't trigger a repaint when you have another window on top of it. Interesting. But it does repaint if part of it goes off screen, like that. Or if you minimize it and re-maximize it. Of course here we can still clear it because it didn't realize that I repainted everything. Well, I think that means that we're done for today.